What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. And I think it's about that time again. I think it's about time we start thinking about the draft a little bit. Again, I am not suggesting to anybody that this season is over when I do this. I think some people seem to conflate thinking about the draft with giving up on the season. We're not doing that, but we can do multiple things at once, especially when the Seahawks are on a bye week, especially when they have lost 5 of their last 6. Yeah, it's time to start thinking at least a little bit about the draft. This video is being powered by BetUS, and it's been over a month since our last mock draft, and we have a lot more information since then. The rough draft value of these players is something that I'm mostly getting from Mock Draft Database. They are probably the best resource for this right now, which doesn't mean everything they say is going to be accurate. And there's plenty of time for players to move up or move down, but we are going to go with their rankings for now. And if the rankings change, then so will my perception of where these players are likely to get drafted. So this is the second mock draft that I've done since the season started. First one I was pretty happy with, and this one I'm pretty happy with as well. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Seahawks mock draft 2.0. So, remember, we have traded a 4th-round pick since our last mock. So we do not have... We had 2 4th-round picks in the previous mock. Now we have 1. So my first pick in this mock draft is going to be Michael Williams, edge defender out of Georgia. He is an edge rusher, and he plays all up and down that line for Georgia's defense. He plays outside the tackle. He plays over the tackle. He even does a little bit. I don't know if this is going to be necessarily useful in the NFL, but he even plays a little bit over B gap. Georgia moves him all over the place. I think Michael Williams, excuse me, could be like Mike McDonald's Clowney, and it should empower us to move off of Nwosu, because at this point I'm just assuming that Nwosu has very little left to give, and we'll be looking to move off of him after this season's over. And even if you're not, I think edge is a position you can never have enough of. So to me, he would add a lot to this defense and add a lot to what McDonald is able to do. So even though I know edge is not necessarily a pressing need at this moment, I also think that this team will be thinner than you expect at the edge position after this upcoming season's done. If Draymond and Nwosu are both gone, then what do you have behind Mafe and Hall? You have very little. So I think that it is an underrated need to add to the edge room this upcoming offseason. Michael Williams, I keep saying Michael, it's Michael Williams, is a guy who I think would have been a top 10 pick if he didn't get a little bit banged up this year. He missed some time. He didn't blow up the way people were expecting because he missed games. So to me, this is a guy who will probably not go in the top 10 now because of that. So you have an opportunity to get him in the round 1, mid, maybe even slightly higher than mid of that first round. All right, so that is my first round pick. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS. You can head on over there right now and bet on an absolute myriad of NFL happenings this upcoming season. We've got a bunch of games to be played this weekend, bunch of games on Sunday. We got a game on Monday. You can do money lines, you can do spreads, you can do props, you can do over-unders, you can do it all over on BetUS. Right now, you can use promo code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000, and then 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Get on over there, check out BetUS, best online sportsbook and casino out there. Give them a shot and have some fun betting on sports this year. All right, so back to the mock draft now. We go to round 2. Round number 2, I'm going with one of my favorite players developing throughout this college season, Wyatt Millam. Wyatt Millam of West Virginia, Mountaineer. I don't know exactly what position he's going to play in the NFL. He's going to be either a right tackle or a left guard, in my estimation. I don't think he has the quickness and lateral agility to play left tackle. Either way, he can help a lot. He's a road grader who is really, really difficult to deal with in the run game. He's an excellent run blocker. Big part of the reason why that West Virginia run game is so dominant, and he's very clean in pass protection as well. Now, a big reason why that is because West Virginia is such a run-happy team, but Wyatt Millum is still a very good player, and I think that his strengths will be more accentuated if you move him to right tackle or move him inside to left guard. Either way, I think you come out on top with that one, and I think you get a very good player that should drastically improve your ability to run the ball in 2025. So that is my round 2 pick. I think that one's going to make a lot of people very happy. And I don't have a super strong preference about where he plays. I think that depends on what happens with Abe Lucas. I think if Abe Lucas is gone after this season or you can't count on him, then Millum probably takes that right tackle spot. But if Abe Lucas can make a comeback, then you've got that left guard spot pretty much wide open unless Christian Haynes wants to take it. At this point, I don't know what to think about Christian Haynes. I don't know what the plan is there. But either way, you're getting a very good player here. Okay, round 3 now. Moving on to round number 3, we have another offensive lineman. I'm going with Marcus Mbow of Purdue, the Boilermakers. He's a right tackle. Now, he's another guy. I'm not 100% sure he's going to stay at right tackle in the NFL. But again, you have flexibility here, right? And again, I'm assuming that Abe Lucas probably will not be something we can count on going forward, or somebody we can count on going forward. So when I'm trying to project this out, I'm saying that he won't be there. So now you have Mbow, who can maybe play right tackle for you. And then you've got Millum. If he moves to left guard, then you're kind of cooking at that point. Then you can let Haynes and Bradford figure it out at right guard. Whoever wins, wins. And you've got a real offensive line at that point, I think, if you can address center in some way. And remember, if you can bolster the left guard and the right tackle spot, it'll be much easier to play center and right guard because there's a trickle-down effect of good play from those spots going to the other spots. So if you hit on these guys, and I'm a fan of both, you are talking about fortifying the entire left side and the right tackle spot. You've got 2 very talented players duking it out for right guard with Haynes and Bradford. Hopefully one of them figures it out. And then you just have to think about center. And center's going to be a lot easier if you take care of those other spots. So I think you've got your foundation now, and you've done it before the end of even day 2 of the draft. Or the end of day 2 of the draft. So you still have all of day 3 left, and I think you've addressed the problem by and large. All right, so that is round 3. Round 4, we're going with a wide receiver. I think it's become very clear we're going to need one. Lockett will not be here next year, almost certainly. And even if he is, there's only so much we can count on him for. We need another outside receiver to keep JSN in the slot where he's had a vast majority of his production. And I think that Torrey Holton, wide receiver out of Colorado State, is going to provide that. I think that Torrey Horton, I say Torrey Holton because of Torrey Holt, of course. The OGs will know who I'm talking about. Maybe the kids know who Torrey Holt is. I don't know. But Torrey Horton, good hands, big enough to play on the outside. He's got some stuff he's got to work on in terms of like a route tree, but this is a talented receiver who I think is going to be able to play on the outside in the NFL. He just needs to learn how to release off the line of scrimmage a little better. But most players do learn how to do that better when they get to the NFL. So Torrey Horton of Colorado State is my round 4 pick. I think that would give us a legitimate chance to meaningfully replace Lockett next year, because I think it's becoming clear that we don't have the Lockett replacement on the roster right now. Some people were hoping we did, and it was a nice hope, but at this point, I'm thinking we need to go outside. Round number 5, because again, we don't have the second round 4 pick this time. I go with Logan Jones, center out of Iowa. He may be this draft's Oluwatimi, the one of the top centers in the draft who just doesn't quite have the NFL measurable juice to actually get picked very high, but he still has a chance to be a good NFL player. Now, Oluwatimi doesn't look like it's going to work out. I'm pretty low on Oluwatimi's NFL future at this point, but Logan Jones, you got to take another shot at it. And I don't think you can take a center super high in this draft because of the other needs. And the centers in this draft are really weak. So you may as well just take a flyer on one in the 5th round instead of trying to take one in round 2 or round 3 that doesn't belong. So Logan Jones would be my 5th round pick. He's a road grader. I mean, you know what that Iowa offensive line turns out. Everybody knows that. So I don't need to say much more than that. Round 6, I go with a linebacker. No longer a big need because of the Ernest Jones trade, but I still think you could add depth. So I'm going with Kobe King out of Penn State. He's a guy who's caught my attention lately. Not in any super over the top way, but he's got good instincts and he's got good ball skills. There are some physical limitations with him, as you would expect any player in the 6th round to have, but fun linebacker depth here. And my final pick of this draft is going to be, finally, we get our quarterback, Cade Klubnik, currently projected to go around the 7th round according to the database, which to me is silly. To me, he's clearly worth at least like a 4th round pick. Well, I'm not going to say that. At least a 5th round pick, maybe a 4th round pick. The people were falling all over themselves for Cade Klubnik last season. They were really excited for him, and the excitement's died off, granted, but it might have died off in a Brock Purdy kind of way, if you get my drift, where he just didn't take the next step because the team around him isn't all that great. So you do get a quarterback there, so we finally draft one. But that's what I got. That's what I got for Seahawks Mock Draft version 2.0. In a few weeks or maybe a month, we'll probably do a 3.0. So let me know what you guys think about this one. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. And every mock draft tries to attack things from a slightly different angle. This one attacks things from an angle that I think most people will not be following, but this is the angle I have. All right. Thank you to BetUS for powering the video. See you guys soon. Maybe another video later today, more than likely tomorrow. Go Hawks.